So next I'd like to introduce Charles Mark Wanume. He's a graduate student of technology innovation at Macquarie University, and he also works for the Grameen Foundation as a research quality analyst. He has vast experience in mobile data solutions, product design, and development, and he's a strong advocate of mobile technology for development. He has a strong belief that geo-tools have the potential to improve and enhance interventions targeting rural communities. And he'll be telling you a little bit about the work they've been doing with Open Data Kit. Please join me in welcoming Mark.
I think it would be remiss of me to start without saying the most important words. Let me start by thanking Google for inviting me, and also on behalf of Grameen Foundation for supporting us and working with us since the initial phase of the CKW program. What I'm going to talk to you about today is basically the application of ODK. ODK as an open source tool that we have been using to collect data, and also to make sure that the data that we collect is able to inform of the decisions that actually we can make about our work or initiative. I wanted to give you a little context about the CKW program. CKW is a community knowledge work project initiative. It was started within Grameen Foundation. It was built on originally with a partnership of Google and Grameen Foundation, and the main goal was that they wanted to be able to develop products that target poor people. So what Grameen is so passionate about is that it wants to, not that it wants, but actually what it has been doing, that it uses mobile technology. It leverages the mobile technology platform to make sure that it's able to package content or basic products that are able to reach poor people. When I received an email from Rally and she told me that I prepare a presentation, I put on a talk on this, and I thought about, if I say how we have used ODK, it has two components. One is that I want to tell you about a story of the Community Knowledge Work program, but also I want to tell you about ODK, how basically we got ODK in its own original form. It was a little bit restrictive when we had just started. We couldn't do complex forms, as Tanya indicated earlier. It was not doing what we wanted to do. But again, I'd like to draw your attention to about Karo. Karo basically is a rural farmer in eastern Uganda from a district called Kapchorwa. For those of you that have been to Uganda, eastern Uganda is a very beautiful place of the country. But the farmers there, they have a lot of problems. They have no access to information. But between you and me, you know that for every intervention that you want to do in any given setting, you don't want to cook or prepare a product and take it to a community when you don't have baseline information about them. You don't know what kind of people you're dealing with. So we needed to understand the socio-economic status by collecting baseline information. But then, for people that have used the paper, and again, what I'm going to say resonates well with what Tanya described, is that you need to think about the time, and you need to think about the costs of setting up a data center, like data entrance, space, rent, the money to pay the data entrance, plus data entry errors, all the things there. The idea, with a little fine-tuning to the original ODK, we fine-tuned the ODK to be able to do complex forms, where we are able to do skip logics, to do repeats, to do video, to do image, but also probably later, because the time can't allow, I'll get some time to talk to people who want to go aside and discuss how more convenient tools than even what we've used, because we've used pack forms in the design of our forms. But what we've decided that even now we have taken to XLS, which Tanya described it as complex, but again, we are finding it to be much simpler to use because it's more accommodative actually than pack forms that we are using. So with our new initiative, again, remember what I told you, that I will have two stories that I'm going to fuse into one. This is Karo that I've been describing. Because now we are able to get these tools, and this is what we wanted to do. We want to understand before we introduce this program to the people, in the communities, we wanted to be sure that it will be able to help them, that even at the end, you're able to measure and say, I found them at this level, but when I'm exiting, I think I've left them better people. Or better still, to understand that your work didn't have any impact. So we found out this about Carol, that actually, because our intervention is basically taking agriculture information to making sure that this rural farmer gets access to agriculture information, we found out that she lives on $1.25 a day. Our total access to land is about 2 acres. Education level is about P7. Again, this Carol here I'm describing, basically she represents many farmers that we work with. So we said that, okay, if this is the people we are dealing with, then we are able to go in and say, okay, after 3 years or 2 years, we're able to measure and say that now Carol, she's able to take her kids to school, she's able to do all those sorts of things. The monitoring and tracking progress, basically, this is what we do. This on the left-hand side, you can see we have what we've used that the data that we collect using ODK is able to help us do the maps, but also track the community knowledge work workers that are within the communities, because these people are at the village level. The village is the smallest unit within our setting. We have district, the sub-county, and the parish, and then the village. Then on the other side also, we are able to track the diseases, because the information that the community knowledge workers work with is that they're able to go and talk to farmers and say, hey, there's this problem, this disease has broken out, so this is how to solve the problem. Or even if it's like an alert, then it lets people to avoid such a disease and how it is spreading. This is a quick metric, basically, to show you how far we have come. I would have loved to talk about further how, basically what we started with in about 3 districts, but at the moment we're in 43 districts. We have 1,113 CKWs, those are the community knowledge workers. We have 2,400 farmers registered. And these farmers, we don't just go and register farmers. Remember, again, this is ODK helping us. We are not just registering these farmers, but also we are interested that knowing the interactions. Why is the farmer coming back? If he's coming back, what is he asking about? What also we have done is that we decided that when the data we collect with ODK, when it comes from the field, okay, in this instance, we are calling it community knowledge CKW app. When the data comes in, we would like to collect this data when it comes into our system. This is into the Salesforce, this is a Salesforce instance. We are able to track and see the CKW distribution by gender. We are able to see how many females that we are reaching, how many that are getting out of poverty. You can see total farmers reached. We have a target. And on the extreme end, if you look carefully, you can be able to see that we have the trends. And this we used Google Chat APIs, basically to help us determine that this is the target, and so that we can be able to see how far we are doing. And this basically is on a daily basis. Every time someone makes a submission in the field, the metrics here keep changing. So this is what we are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles Mark. We have time for one question. So how many countries are you planning on scaling this into?
At the moment we're in Uganda, but we are scaling it to Kenya, and also we're moving into Tanzania, but also we are working in Colombia, in Latin America. We have also a community knowledge work program, and also they're using, this is the kind of intervention that they're using. Also they're using ODK, which we have used. Actually, when you go to Google Play, you can be able to look at our app and see basically how it works. So if you can just put in CKW survey app.
Do you think it'll be difficult to move it into other countries, or do you think it'll be pretty straightforward?
No. Yes, it's the same that we should be rolling out to other countries. Again, because of the time limit that I had, I wanted to talk about basically for people who think of going into areas where they have the communities are off the grid, like they don't have access to electricity. That's something that we really struggled with a lot, because what we decided is that either we buy an extra battery, that when the community knowledge worker goes to work, they have an extra battery. But also we decided to work with, again, Google. Initially they had like solar gadgets that they gave us, so that when somebody's in the field, they could be able to use it. It wasn't very sustainable. We wanted to work on other solutions, but yes, that has been a challenge, but we have overcome it through using solar panels, and also making sure that probably we have an extra battery for power. Thank you.